championship season began on a summery September afternoon in Soldier Field. Quarterback Jim McMahon went right after the opposing Buccaneers. And with key blocks from guards Mark Bortz, number 62, and Kurt Becker, number 79, the Chicago quarterback wound up and threw to wide receiver Dennis McKinnon for the Bears' first touchdown. However, the Chicago defense was uncharacteristically generous this opening day, giving up 4 first-half touchdowns that earned the Bucs a 28-17 lead. But on the second play of the second half, cornerback Leslie Frazier, number 21, picked off a Steve DeBerg pass. And from then on, it was all Bears, who shut out Tampa the rest of the way. With the Buccaneers in dry dock, McMahon charted the Bears through smooth waters with 2 scoring passes and 2 touchdown runs to earn Chicago an opening day win. After this game, only one club would score more points on the Bears the rest of the year. In the season's second week, the Bears faced their eventual Super Bowl opponents in a game which, on the surface, looked to be favoring the Patriots. For one of the few times all season, running star Walter Payton was held in check, and some of the Patriots treated their hosts in a less than cordial fashion. But appearances can be deceiving. Despite a few hard hits, it was New England who was dismantled. The Bears held the Patriots to only 27 yards rushing while logging 3 interceptions and 6 sacks. New England spent only 19 seconds in Chicago territory all day, while Bear touchdowns by Matt Suhey and Dennis McKinnon, number 85, were more than enough to gain the win. In just a few months, Chicago would beat New England even more convincingly. When the legendary Dick Butkus joined fellow Hall of Famer O.J. Simpson to watch Chicago's Thursday night matchup in Minnesota, he didn't expect to see his former mates fall behind. But in the third quarter, the Bears were trailing the Vikings 17-9. It was then that Coach Mike Ditka summoned an ailing Jim McMahon off the bench in hopes of sparking the team. A blitzing Minnesota linebacker ran into a crunching block from Walter Payton, freeing McMahon to hit Willie Gault for a 70-yard touchdown on his very first play. In just under 7 minutes, McMahon fired 3 touchdown passes, rallying Chicago to another come-from-behind victory. To a nationwide TV audience, this was the first glimpse of a team that was charting a course to a championship. Loyal Chicagoans had already sensed the special qualities of their heroes, and they were made quite clear to everyone, including the opposing Redskins in the 4th game of the season. After spotting Washington a 10-0 lead, the Bears roared back on the legs of kick returner Willie Gault. Gault's 99-yard return, the 3rd longest in team history, sparked a run of 45 unanswered points. Meanwhile, the Bears showed why Chicago is renowned as hog butcher to the world, as they chopped, sliced, and diced the Redskin offense. Number 27, cornerback Mike Richardson capped the Bears' defensive dominance with a coast-to-coast interception return that set up one of Chicago's many scores, including a touchdown reception by tight end Emery Moorhead, number 87. The Bears used this point explosion to become the NFC's highest-scoring team, a distinction they would still hold at season's end. Walter Payton hauled in 1 touchdown from McMahon, then returned the favor in kind as the future Hall of Famer used his darting quickness and accurate arm to complete the 8th touchdown pass of his pro career. Chicago handed the Redskins their worst defeat in 24 years and had fun while doing it. Where one Windy City team with a recent past found success in winning ugly, the Bears were discovering the joys of winning crazy. But in a rematch at Tampa Bay, the annoying Buccaneers temporarily put frowns on the Bears' faces as they bolted to a 12-3 halftime lead. Then Jim McMahon and Dennis McKinnon combined to help erase Tampa Bay's advantage. The spirit of sharing carried over to the defense as well, as secondary members Leslie Frazier, Gary Fensick, and Dave Dewerson combined their talents to short-circuit any Buccaneer comeback play. It took a trio to advance the ball on this interception, but a solo act advanced the Bears to victory. Walter Payton is 31 years old. He's still a money player who can stop on a dime and go for broke in a single motion. Payton scored twice in the final period as Chicago chalked up their fourth come-from-behind win in 5 weeks. Ahead lay the game the Bears had been pointing toward since the end of last season. When the 49ers pounded the Bears 23-0 to win the NFC title in 1984, it was a defeat that fueled Chicago's desire to become champions in 1985. They took a giant step in that direction as the offense systematically dissected the defending world champs, mounting scoring drives on 3 of their first 4 possessions. Chicago raced to a 16-0 lead, then pounced on every mistake made by the San Francisco offense. Both the Bears defenders and the Niners themselves turned the contest into a comedy of errors. Then in the final moments, Coach Mike Ditka paid San Francisco back with interest for last year's defeat by unleashing enormous rookie defensive tackle William Perry as a running back. Perry would have ample opportunity to hone his rushing skills later in the year. But for the moment, the finest ball carrier in the business, Walter Payton, was the best man for the job. Payton scored twice and ran for 132 yards as Chicago exacted a harsh measure of revenge against San Francisco. The 6-0 Bears could now truly sense that their star runner might finally get his chance to be on a championship team. Certainly the legacy of Payton's career proved that no athlete was more deserving. On the Bears' first Monday night appearance of the season, opposing Green Bay jumped out to a quick 7-0 lead. But the defense quickly slammed the door thereafter as Pro Bowl-bound safety Dave Dewerson, number 22, made one of 3 big turnovers at Green Bay's expense. Linebacker Wilbur Marshall, number 58, stole another Packer pass, setting up the first of 2 scores from Walter Payton. Walter cracked the 100-yard mark again, and with this touchdown became the Bears' all-time leading scorer. But the points that made the biggest impression on the nation came from William Perry, whose cannonball blast set in motion an amazing story that was destined to create an American folk hero. A week later against Minnesota, Perry played a more traditional role and collected his first professional quarterback sack. Tommy Kramer was chilled by the refrigerator, then singed by number 95 Richard Dick, who brushed Kramer's arm just as he released the pass deep in Vikings territory. Number 55, Otis Wilson's interception return broke open what had been a tight 13-7 contest. And this wasn't the only wobbly throw that resulted in a Bears touchdown. Jim McMahon served up a knuckleball that would have made Phil Niekro jealous, but it fluttered into the hands of Dennis McKinnon for 6 Chicago points. McMahon's second scoring pass of the game was delivered to Walter Payton, who also produced another 100-yard rushing performance. The Bears' recipe for victory was once again their usual perfect blend of offense and defense. Reason enough for Chicago's perfect 8-0 record at the midway point of the season. The defense helped maintain that unblemished record in a return engagement with Green Bay. Number 99, Dan Hampton, logged quarterback sacks from both the end and tackle positions, one of many different defensive looks that confused the Packers all day. When Hampton wasn't storming into the backfield, it was number 76, Steve McMichael, whose safety helped trim a fourth-quarter Packer lead. In yet another come-from-behind contest, it was Walter Payton leading the way with a season-high 192 yards to go along with a winning touchdown in Chicago's toughest game of the year. Once more, William Perry made headlines with the first touchdown catch of his career, giving new meaning to the term wide receiver. Score versus Green Bay had done it. The refrigerator had truly captured the country's imagination. William Perry was a symbol, a big, big symbol of the Bears' attempt to put fun back into football.
They were iconic. They were legendary. They were just a ferocious unit. The greatest defensive season of all time.
The number 2 defense of all time, the 1985 Bears. They put the fear of God into every team that they played. Sporting event inside.